poor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I just want to take a moment and thanks again to the incredible citizens of Calgary Midnapore who have returned me here for my 4th term. It is an honor to be here and to represent them once again. Thank you so very much. And you know, Mr. Speaker, when our citizens vote for us, when they bring us into this House, they really bring us here with one thing, and that is their trust, Mr. Speaker. They trust us when they come here to this place that they have chosen to put us into, that we will do the right things, that we will say the right things, we will take the right actions, and we will do the right things. And Mr. Speaker, with that comes the responsibility of deciding how we will spend their hard-earned money. This is one of the greatest elements of trust that our citizens will put in us during the time that we were here. So it is, of course, very unfortunate that the Auditor General has determined, once again, in reviewing GC strategies, that this was not the case with this government. That this government, once again, disappointed the citizens that had placed the trust within this government. In fact, they went beyond disappointing their people, Mr. Speaker. They betrayed the trust of the people who put them here.
And I would also like to say that I'll be sharing my time with the great member for Louis Saint Laurent, Akia Wenrack. Thank you.
They betrayed the trust that was placed in them, Mr. Speaker, by their citizens. And not just in one way, Mr. Speaker, but in several ways. Over 31 departments, 9 which had more than $1 million worth of contracts with GC Strategies. So let's examine, Mr. Speaker, some of the ways that this happened. In 33% of the contracts, they could not show that the contract resources had the experience and the qualifications necessary to complete the work. Now, Mr. Speaker, anyone knows when you're applying for a job, the first thing that you do is you give your resume, you give your CV. And you would never go to a doctor or to a dentist who was not certified. Here, Mr. Speaker, we demand that our tradespeople are certified. And by the way, Mr. Speaker, I have very many tradespeople in my riding who cannot find work as a result of the uncertain conditions created by this government. We demand that our trades have certification. Yet everyone who worked for GC Strategies, we can't necessarily ensure that this was the case. We can't ensure that they were certified to do the work that they did. In 33% of the cases, we could not verify this. Mr. Speaker, in 58% of the cases, timesheets were poorly documented. Not showing our work is the first lesson that children learn in elementary school. And so what does that say when people aren't even willing to document the work that they did, show the work that they did? How can we come to any other conclusion other than the work that was paid for wasn't necessarily completed, Mr. Speaker? Really, there is no other conclusion that we can draw other than this. It's really hard to come to another conclusion. In addition, Mr. Speaker, 82% of federal organizations could not prove that fees did not exceed market rates. I will tell you, Mr. Speaker, every Canadian in Canada right now who is shopping is doing price comparisons. I have no doubt about that. As a public servant for 15 years, Mr. Speaker, when I had to purchase an item, the first thing that I had to do was get 3 quotes. And I was obligated each and every time to choose the lowest cost item. Yet this didn't happen, Mr. Speaker, with GC Strategies. Mr. Speaker, this reeks of extortion. It reeks of collusion. Mr. Speaker, I think of a beautiful young mom in Legacy, one of my communities, where when I met her at the door, she was crying. She was crying because she has 2 sons with a genetic condition that only allow them to have a keto diet. And so she had fed them hamburger patties, It's like the stacks of hamburger patties that you buy in 16 or 32 at the superstore for 4 consecutive nights. She had nothing else to feed them, Mr. Speaker. And yet, this government is overcharging the public and taking advantage of this unique situation. And that is not right, Mr. Speaker. It is not right. Mr. Speaker, I went to go see my banker 2 weeks ago. He told me he is seeing 2 things he has not seen in his 20 years of banking. The first is seniors coming into his office crying, saying, I did everything right. I did everything by the book. I followed the rules. I invested my money. And yet I can't feed myself. I can't stay in my home. It's heartbreaking, Mr. Speaker. And the second thing he's seeing, Mr. Speaker, is he sees people, lifelong Canadians, cashing out their assets and moving to other countries to have a better standard of living for a lower cost. It's heartbreaking, Mr. Speaker, but these are the things that are happening. These people, Mr. Speaker, I can assure you, are price comparison shopping. In addition, Mr. Speaker, 54% of contracts could not prove that deliverables were received. Mr. Speaker, this one blows my mind. Again, as a former public servant, you are obligated to sign, and I had a conversation with the Auditor General when she presented her report, sections 32, 33, 34. Section 33 says you must prove the deliverables were received before you sign the check and pay the organization. How was GC Strategies even paid when we can't prove that the deliverables were received? How is that even possible, Mr. Speaker? It's mind-blowing. That's the least one can expect when you pay for something, that you received something. Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General said, the rules are clear. There are no further policies that need to be made. The Liberal government need only enforce the rules and follow the rules. Yet this government seems incapable of doing that time and time again. But they are incapable of following the rules and enforcing the rules for one of 2 reasons, Mr. Speaker. It's they're incompetent, and we've seen incompetence from this government time and time again. Or the second reason, the real reason I think, Mr. Speaker, is because they don't care. They don't care about your money. Never mind following the rules, Mr. Speaker. In addition, following the rules, there is following the rules and there's doing what's right. Buying a $9 million condo in New York City is within the rules, but it's not right. Spending $100,000 on catering, if you're the Governor General, is within the rules, but it's not right. The Prime Minister says he's following the rules with the Ethics Commissioner, but is he really doing what's right in not disclosing all of his assets? GC Strategies didn't follow the rules, and they didn't do what's right. Kristian Firth, if you're listening right now, you did something wrong. You stole from the Canadian people. You should never be allowed to have another contract again, and you should return the money to the people of Canada. But this Liberal government let you do it because they don't see your money, the Canadian people's money, like their money. Canadians put their trust in this government, and they betrayed this trust. But here is an opportunity for the Liberals and the government to rebuild that trust through you, Mr. Speaker. You have to get our money back. You have to make right for the hard-working people who send their taxes to Ottawa. The bad thing has happened. You let that bad thing happen, but this is your chance to make it right. Do the right thing. Support this motion. Never let GC Strategies have another contract or their affiliates, and get Canadians' money back. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. The Honourable Member, Parliament Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not too sure if the member is even aware of it, but today we have a process that's in place in which, where we've been able to demonstrate, or the government or civil servants were able to demonstrate fraud or, in fact, overbilling, we already are pursuing GC Strategies in court right now. Is the member, in fact, aware of that?
The honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore.
Mr. Speaker, this is what the government does, is they provide breadcrumbs of examples of things they are trying to indicate to the Canadian people that they are doing right. But the reality is, GC Strategies is only banned for 7 years. They are not banned for a lifetime. They can go and create another entity to win a contract with the Canadian people. This minuscule piece of good is simply tiny and incomparable to the wrong that was done, Mr. Speaker. So much more has to be done. The Auditor General says that they are not even following the rules. They are not enforcing the rules. They must begin to do this. Little examples like this are not satisfactory, Mr. Speaker.
The
honourable member for Drummond. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to commend my colleague for her speech. How likely is it for us to get any reimbursement back? And the other question has to do with the consequences on GC Strategies by banishing them for 7 years. It's just a little rap on the knuckle saying, naughty, naughty, don't do it again. Does she not believe that we should have banished them for life? Not just GC Strategies, but the 2 men nominally. Banned them for life from any potential to work with public funds. Does she not believe that that would have been an actual consequence? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore. Thank you, and I'd like to thank my colleague for his question. Yes, of course, I fully agree that what we see isn't enough. We need full ban for both men for GC Strategies, but it should also be impossible for these 2 men to create another company through which they could get contracts in the future with the Government of Canada. So I completely agree with my colleague. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. The honourable member for Essex.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you so much to my esteemed colleague here for a very impassioned speech. And through you, Mr. Speaker, I really loved the end of her speech because it talked about doing what's right. And I'm a big believer that when nobody's looking, did you do the right thing? And we certainly know that the right thing wasn't done. Mr. Speaker, through you to my colleague, I know that folks back in Essex and the Windsor region, they've almost become accustomed to it, that the government hasn't done the right thing. So, Mr. Speaker, through you to my question to my colleague is, not only would she agree with me that not only should GC Strategies pay back the money, but also pay back the interest on that money? Thank you, Speaker.
The honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to my colleague as he makes his return to the House. Yes, they should pay the interest as well as Canadians are required to do on their taxes, for example. But he touches on something far more important, Mr. Speaker, and that is doing the right thing. And how can this government or even Canadians have faith in a Prime Minister who is not committed to doing the right thing when he indicates that he will not go beyond the requirements of the Ethics Commissioner? Doing the right thing, Mr. Speaker, starts at the top, and right now Canadians do not have that leadership within this Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
We have time for a very brief question.
The honourable member for Rivière-du-Nord. Very short. Very quickly, does my colleague agree to say that, irrespective of the political stripe of the government, and whoever the leader of these parties, we have to get this money back, which doesn't belong to us, but that belongs to all Quebecers and Canadians? The honourable member for Calgary-Midnapore. Yes, thank you for the question. I believe that this question is specific and very different to the motions that we received in the House in the last few days. Yes, absolutely. If Quebec is paid, yes, they deserve their part of the GC Strategies reimbursement. Thank you very much. Resuming debate.